When we talk about ancestors, people forget that the Bible itself is full of ancestral reverence.
This is where we Africans got it wrong. Please help me share this video because this video is really teachable. I don't know why this so-called missionary convinced us so fast to believe that our ancestors are demons. They are the devils. Please, we need to learn.
But when it comes to African people, they will tell you that anything that is connected to your ancestors is demonic. Let's take a look at that same Bible. When people like David, Solomon, or any other person in the Bible dies, the Bible will say things like, he slept with his fathers. What does that mean? Means that such a person has joined their ancestors. In scripture, this was honorable. This was peaceful. It was a way of saying that this person that died has returned to their lineage. Israel openly honored their ancestors. The Bible even calls God the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is ancestral invocation. When you remember your lineage to strengthen identity. Now let's take this a step further. In Deuteronomy 26:5, the Israelites were commanded to recite their ancestry before God. In Exodus 32:13, Moses reminded God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to gain favor from God. In Leviticus 26:42, God said he will bless them because of their ancestors. And finally, in 1 Kings 11:12-13, God spared a kingdom for David's sake, their ancestor. Even Jesus' story started with a full genealogy in Matthew 1. 42 generations of ancestors were honored by their names. So if the Hebrews honoring their own ancestors is regarded as holy, why is it that Africans honoring their own ancestors is regarded as demonic? Why the double standard? Why is one culture allowed to honor their own lineage and Africans told to disconnect from their lineage? This was what the colonizers wanted all along, to erase your identity, to demonize your ancestors, and to replace your identity with theirs. Because guess what? A people that has lost connection to their lineage becomes easier to control. Africans have been made to believe that when they honor their ancestors, they are worshiping them. They are scared of the kind of spirits they might invoke when they honor their ancestors. But whenever they call on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they do not fear the kind of spirits they will invoke when they do that. Today, even I that is talking, I don't know my lineage. I don't know the stories of my forefathers. And this is the sad thing. Many Africans have been made to fear something that came out of their own lineage. They fear hearing their forefathers' stories. Oh, who is my forefather? What did they accomplish? You don't know anything about it because you have been conditioned to think that way. We have also been conditioned to think that saying our great-grandfather's name is ancestral worship. But we have been comfortable to call upon the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, people who are literally someone else's ancestors. We fear invoking evil spirits through our own bloodline, but we do not fear invoking those same spirits through another culture's lineage. Do you know why? Because we have been taught that anything African is dark, is demonic, and dangerous, whereas anything foreign is holy. Many Christians can recite the genealogy of Jesus from Matthew 1, but they do not know the names of their great-great-grandfathers. They do not know the stories that shaped their families. The sad truth is that many people fear their ancestors simply because they think they know their faults. They think they know the mistakes that these ancestors made when they were alive. But then again, if you knew about the failings, the shortcomings, the bloodshed, and the betrayal of the Israelite ancestors, maybe you would never call upon their names. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the power of controlling the narrative. We lived among our ancestors. We saw their shortcomings, and that is why we judge them. But we have never met Abraham, Isaac, or even Jacob. Yet, we honor them simply because they told us that they were holy, they were blessed, and that they walked with God. Didn't your ancestors walk with God? No, some of you might be like, no, they did not walk with God. And that was not God. How did your ancestors communicate with God, the source, before Christianity came? This whole thing is like what our elders say. It is the name you call your dog that he will answer to. We have called our ancestors evil, so we treat them as evil. But because they have called their own good, by extension of what we have heard them call their ancestors, we are now calling their own ancestors good. Who is more foolish? Growing up, many of us were never taught about our ancestors. Nobody sat us down to tell us, my child, this is your lineage. These are the people you come from. These are the values that they lived by. No. Instead, we're taught to fear anything that sounds ancestral. When you go to church, they will tell you, pray and bind your ancestral spirit. They will tell you to cast and bind ancestral curses, blah, blah, blah. But in that same church, an entire sermon will be dedicated to talk about Abraham's family tree, Jacob's sons, Joseph's lineage, David's descendants, and the generational blessings that come with them, what about their own generational curses? Even naming ceremonies shows this difference. A child named Shukudubem is too traditional, whereas a child named Elijah or David is spiritual. We honor the ancestors of Israel. We preach their stories. We even claim their blessings. Yet, we fear even mentioning the names of our ancestors. That is not spirituality. That is cultural conditioning.